Hello, and welcome to the Prepare for Internship Connect presentation. This is going to run students through everything they need to know to be ready for Internship Connect. Please take a moment to scan the QR code on screen to check in for our remote viewers. This will help the Career Center understand who's in the audience, what year in school you are, what major. We want to make sure that we're reaching as many folks as we can. So our agenda for this presentation is to review the event Internship Connect, to run through the application lottery process, to go through a checklist that we hope will cover all the things that you need to do in preparation for the event, and then just some brief company highlights. So getting started, the website that we will refer to many times for this presentation is Internship Connect, and the URL is on screen. This is a great website that contains everything that you need to know to be ready for the event. And so Internship Connect, it takes place on October 29th from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is a remote event hosted through Artworks. It's a great opportunity to network with companies that are really interested in RISD. They've posted internships, they've come to our events, they generally want to be engaged with all of you. And so couple of things to keep in mind. You do need to sign up for a meeting in order to participate, and that's what we'll go through with the application lottery process. It is not meant to be for portfolio reviews. This is strictly for networking, and it is pretty fast-paced. So this event will not include portfolio reviews. And majority of the companies do say that they have internships available for this year, which we're really excited about. So who's participating? You can always go to the website internshipconnect.risi.edu/2025 to see all of the companies that are involved. And underneath each company name is an abbreviation for the major, which is what the company indicated as majors of interest when they registered for this program. So if you're not in one of those majors, it's still okay as long as you feel strongly that your work fits with the work that they're doing. You may need to provide a little bit of an explanation, but this just helps you to understand where the company is looking for. And then for students, it's going to be all RISD students except for first-year students. For first-year students in undergrad level, you'll need to wait until the following year to participate. So let's look at the application lottery guide. For one thing, the application window opens from Monday, October 20th at 9 a.m., and it closes the following day, Tuesday, the 21st, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. And so there's no advantage to applying at 9 a.m. or 9:01 because this is a lottery. Any application that takes place during that window is equally important to the system. And so what is an application lottery? Well, we used to use a first come, first serve process, which was very stressful and stressful for students, stressful for the system. So we've adopted a lottery system over the past few years that helps students to be more calm when they're applying for a chance to meet with a company. And it uses the lottery to distribute more evenly these time slots for all students that are involved. And when we say OCI, what we're talking about is the Internship Connect meetings. So OCI stands for on-campus interviews, but that's what we use to produce the Internship Connect meetings. So all you need to do is apply during that 2-day application window. And the more applications that you submit for companies that you're interested in, the more chances you have in the lottery to get a meeting. Now, it would not be a good idea to apply to companies that you're not that interested in because the lottery doesn't know where you stand there and they may give you a meeting with a company. So you want to make sure that you're applying to companies that you're only interested in strongly. And so to make an application, you'll go into Artworks, you'll click the OCI and job listings link on the left. You'll then click OCI at the top. And then the list that's produced is all the available OCIs. When you want to apply to a company like this company here on screen, Big, you would click that link, and then you'd be able to hit the Apply Now button. And with the Apply Now button, you'll be submitting a resume or a CV that's loaded in the system in Artworks, and you'd hit Apply. After successfully applying, you'll get a congratulations message, and you can go back to finding more OCIs that you're interested in. And once you have applied to all of the OCIs that you're excited about, you'll then go to do a ranking process. So let's just take a second and review what we're talking about here. So there's no pressure to apply early in this process. Applying anytime after 9 a.m. on Monday the 20th and before 11:59 on Tuesday the 21st, it will be equally considered by the system. And then you can rank your applications. And this way, the lottery system knows what your preferences are and can factor that into their equation when they're producing the results for the lottery. The best way to get more meetings is to apply to all the companies you're interested in, not just any company, but the companies that you're excited about. And so let's go through what this ranking your applications looks like. And so the highest interest is going to be at the top of the list, lowest interest at the bottom. So you'll click the ranking link at the top of the OCI and job listings page. And with the applications that you've applied to, you will click and drag the applications into the position that indicates your preference. So right now, IDO.org is at the top of this list, and that's going to be the most important OCI application for this situation. And you can always observe that column ranking to see what the top slot is, the second most important, the third most important, and so on. Now, your availability. You may not be available during this 3 to 7 Internship Connect event. Maybe you've got a work shift that you can't get out of or something like that. So if you're completely free from 3 to 7, you don't need to pay attention to this part. But if you do have an obligation, you need to block it out in your interview availability. That way, the lottery will not book a conflicting appointment or a meeting for you. So you'll go to My Interview Availability on the left-hand side, and you'll scroll to the week for Internship Connect, which is the October 29th. You'll click within this calendar to start a block in your calendar. And you can put in like a class that you have or a work shift or something like that. Here we can see that the time is set from 2 to 4. So we're telling the lottery system, do not book an appointment for me from 2 to 4 p.m. on this date. And then when we submit it, the lottery will avoid those times from 2 to 4 on your calendar. Please note that for interview availability, it is not you're not able to do this on the My Calendar view that I'm pointing out here. It's only through the My Interview Availability link. Now for the results, when the lottery's done, we'll be sending out the results to all employers and all students on October 24th. And you'll be notified by email, and you can also go into Artworks and click on My Calendar on that Friday, the 24th, to see the meetings that you've received. So looking here, the Internship Connect runs from 3 to 7. We've got a class from 2 to 4 that we've blocked out, but here we see that there's actually, this is a little different. It's 4 to 5:30 where the block is, and then we can see that there's an appointment, an internship Connect meeting at 3 p.m. And the details are up there at the top. Now, when you don't get a meeting for a company you've applied to, we do want to assure you that after the event, so on October 30th, we will send out all applications to all of the companies that you did not end up on the schedule for. This is almost like a resume drop feature in a way, where we ensure that companies get resumes for students that they didn't get to meet with. And so you can also look at the companies that are listed in Artworks by going to the employer directory, which is shown here on the left. Again, after the event is done, we will also provide the lists of all of the participants at the top of the screen for this participating companies 2025. If you want to see what this looks like right now, go to internshipconnect.risd.edu/2024, and you can see last year's list to get a sense of how this works. Now let's run through this checklist quickly so that you've got everything that you need for the event. So for research, this is the fun part. It's like checking out the companies that you're interested in, going on their social media, looking at their products critically and knowing how their work relates to your work, maybe even going on LinkedIn and looking at staff that are fellow creatives at that company and even trying to connect to some folks. You also want to make sure that your resume or CV is ready to go. We've got a great guide on our website at our website, careercenter.risd.edu. You'll need to upload that CV or resume in advance, or you can do it the day, when you're making applications. Whichever you choose, but it does need to go up into the system. And there's also an optional portfolio sample, which would be a separate document, a separate PDF file, 1 to 2 pages, and that would contain samples of your work. And this is like an example of a portfolio sample. So it could highlight 3 to 6 of your best works laid out on a page at a legible scale with maybe a caption under the images to give a sense of like your best work, the materials you use, your skill level, your capabilities. It's a great way to provide kind of a teaser or a preview of what a company may be able to learn about you if they want to follow with you after the event. Drop-ins are available as they always are each week. And we also created on the 27th of October, which is a Monday, we're doing extended drop-ins from 9 to 3 p.m. Do consider the way that your appearance is for this event, even though it's virtual. You want to make sure that you show that you care and that you're prepared and taking this opportunity seriously. So it doesn't have to be dressy, it just has to be intentional. And if you need to miss a class or a studio, please let your instructor know in advance. Your instructors, we've notified all faculty at RISD that this event is coming up, but it's still on you to make sure that you reach out and you're considerate of your teachers. Tech check, this is something that's very familiar to all of us nowadays, but just for the sake of clarity, make sure that you're using a laptop for this experience. It will not be good to use a phone or a tablet. The laptop is the way to go for Internship Connect. Maybe restart it. If you're like me, I wait months to restart my laptop. So make sure that your laptop is in good shape. You've tested your camera, your web camera on your laptop. You've got good Wi-Fi or internet and good lighting in the room that you'll be using, and find a good, quiet, private space to have your Internship Connect meetings. And also get into Artworks in advance just to make sure that everything's working smoothly. And for the main event, be prepared to introduce yourself with a smile, present your resume or your portfolio if you're asked to, not your portfolio sample if you're asked to. And make sure that you're asking for contact info before you wrap up your meeting. Some sample questions are on the right-hand side. So what types of internships are available this year? The best time to apply, some tips about, ways to improve the odds or things that they're looking for in portfolios or from interns. And again, like that last question is key. Like, how do you follow up? What's the best method? Email, LinkedIn? It's a great time to ask before you wrap up. And in Artworks, you're able to do a To look at the employer directory, as I had mentioned before, here we're looking at a profile for William Sonoma, and you can actually go in and see the contacts who are listed under that company, which could provide you with some email contact info that could be super useful in this process. And then following up, you want to follow up with companies or people that you've met with, but especially following up with the people that you didn't get to meet, which should be a number of people will not be able to get onto the calendar that they want to. And so your follow-up can thank the company for participating in Internship Connect and maybe share your enthusiasm about them and let them know that you were sorry to not get on their schedule and to investigate other points of contact after the event. We've heard in many cases of students getting meetings after Internship Connect. And if you're persistent and if you are considerate and polite, there's a good chance that you could make contact for the future. We also created an event called How to Follow Up Internship Connect, and it's taking place the day after Internship Connect at 12 noon. We'll have snacks available, and it'll be in the tap room. You can scan this QR code to register for this event that's coming up after Internship Connect. And so some details about the Internship Connect companies that are participating. So the percentage of representatives that are RISD alumni is almost 30%. That's a really strong number for alumni that are present for the event. The percentage of companies that have hired RISD interns in the past is almost 75%. Very strong. And the percentage of companies that are hiring interns this year is almost 80%. So these are excellent conditions to be having the event. Visit the Career Center for drop-ins and support. This is a list of our whole crew available to support you through this process. And you can book appointments and artworks for one-on-one meetings. We hope that you get the most out of Internship Connect, and good luck.